Hey Otto, how you doing, man? I've been dealing with a lot of crap, so I've been trying to keep up on all your stuff going on, man. Why aren't you blue? Sorry about that, Otto. Hey Julia. I saw what happened to you the other day, Otto. Man, that was ridiculous. I'm hoping this doesn't buffer at all. My friend updated his internet and all that. Yeah, I know, Otto, but man, what you've been going through was ridiculous. Hey, Patrick. Wow. Apparently nobody's on or nobody feels like coming into my streams anymore. Holy crap. Well, welcome to the two people that are in here according to this. No, Patrick, I'm alive. It's pretty crappy right now. I'm still trying to adjust to everything and I'm trying to, come up with surviving basically until I can get all my stuff situated. I mean, I'm stuck dealing with, trying to get disability going, and that's always a pain. In the meantime, just coming up with ways to survive. Hello, Matt. Welcome. I've been trying to pick up any commissions I can, video editing or knife making or whatever. Trying to just come up with, rent and security deposit to rent a room. So, in the meantime, my friend's been helping me out as much as he can. Yeah, I noticed I haven't been getting a lot of my notifications either. I get them randomly. Sometimes I don't get them till like after a stream already stopped. Then I'll get it. It don't make no sense. I'm trying, Julia. I'm trying. It was such a shell shock, and I'm still just trying to get to the acceptance point. But it's barely been a month since she passed, and like everything changed in that time. Everything. So how's everybody doing? How your guys' lives going? I know there's not many people in here, but hey, I hope everybody's all right. And things are going well. I mean, I don't know if you're still in here or not, man, but I'm just glad you're out, and I know it's been rough for you. I've been thinking about doing a video. I've been thinking about doing a video on public venue types. You know, where are we allowed to exercise our rights without worrying about it. Thank you, Valerie, and good morning to you too. But you know where people can be trespassed from, where versus where you can't, where protesting is allowed, where it's not. Because there's so many people that comment on videos I have up, and mostly it's people that have no idea what they're talking about, and they'll say, "Oh, you can't curse there, or you can't exercise your rights there, or you can't record people there." I think the biggest misconception I run into is people thinking, I mean, this has always been a common thing. It's people thinking you need their permission to record them. And I see it all the time. I mean, like dozens of times a day, I see comments on my videos like that. You would think by now, and it's been years we've been doing this, you would think people would have learned by now. Well, right, Patrick, but there are certain, like traditional public forum versus public property versus publicly accessible. There is a difference, and a lot of people don't know that. I mean, I've explained it before. I know Eric has talked about it at one point or another. I know Ben talked about it. I mean, plenty of people have talked about it. David talked about it. But that whole "you need my permission" still kills me. Patrick, dude, you would be amazed at how many comments a day, especially lately. For some reason, my auditors detained and arrested compilations, which I made to illustrate what happens to us when our rights are violated, gets totally flipped, and these people think I made them, just to illustrate people getting arrested, like, for entertainment purposes. And for some reason, in the last week and a half, 2 weeks now, the views have skyrocketed on them. The part two in particular, it's gone up. It took over a year to hit 15,000 views. Now it's at almost 27,000 views in the last 2 weeks. I mean, I know that's not a ton by other people's standards, but you know, to me, that's a lot to go up 10,000 views or more in less than 2 weeks. And of course, there's almost 1,000 comments on that video. Hey, Em. So, and almost all of those comments are people that totally misunderstand the purpose of the video. And they gotta just talk crap and try to, make stupid comments. Hello, Steven. It's just, the whole people need to pay attention to these videos, okay? If you're viewable from a traditional public forum, or if you are viewable from public property that a person has not been trespassed from, then you have no right to tell me if I can record you or not. Hey, 700. And that's what the people don't get. I constantly see, oh, you don't have my permission, you can't film me. Or if I saw them filming, I'd smash their camera. It's so silly, so childish. Hey, air cooled. My favorite ones are still like furry deals with all the time. The people that come running up to the camera, don't film me, as they're staring right into the camera. That kills me. I find it absolutely hilarious. Hey, Six Estate. Well, yes, Stephen, but I mean, I'm talking about like the average Joe walking down the street that sees you filming and comes running up telling you you need their permission to film you, and it's like, no, I don't. They need to teach this stuff in school. They need to make it known. There's so many people out there filming now just because they can, and they have every right to. So people need to get that through their heads. There's just no rhyme or reason to why these people don't let it sink in. And of course, so many people misunderstand the venue types. So many people, they still to this day, they call a public sidewalk public property. It sounds right, but it's a misnomer. Because a public sidewalk is, a public sidewalk that is owned by the town or government, whatever, is a traditional public forum. Hey, Jen. And a traditional public forum is called a traditional public forum because it's traditionally where people exercise their rights. It is where we can go and film and record whatever we want. 700. Well, they got to learn. But just remember, I remember a while, it's got to be about a year now, a little over a year ago. I remember a few auditors went into a building. I I think it was a DMV, but I'm not positive. But security came up to them and said, "This is not a traditional public forum. You cannot record in here." And that was the first time I personally had ever heard the term traditional public forum. And I remember somebody leaving a comment that it was, I don't know if it was just troll or anti-auditor, whatever you want to call them, but they had said, aha, they got you there. They brought up traditional public forum. And I didn't think about it for quite a while. I slipped my mind. And then I started researching it and realized how accurate it is. Hey, Spitshine. The reality is, a traditional public forum is, in fact, a public area like a public sidewalk or a public park, things like that, where you can record anything you can see or hear. A public property would be like the inside of a police station or the back lot of a police station, or it's a area owned by the public, by taxpayers, but you can be trespassed from it. Now, they can't just willy-nilly trespass you for no reason. Now, they can say, like, no trespassing in the back lot. The back lot, they can seal that off and put up signs and whatever saying no trespassers, violators will be prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they can do that. But the inside of a police station is public property, but you can be trespassed from it. Yeah, 700. I used to talk to my mom about it, and she was watching live PD all the time, and she'd say, "Wait a minute," Well, she started saying, "Isn't that a violation of their fourth? Isn't that a violation of their first?" It was funny because she never used to think that way before. But the other thing that people get wrong is publicly accessible. Like a store is private property that's publicly accessible. They allow the public to come in. They can do that, but something like that, private property that is publicly accessible, they can put up signs that say no recording. They can say you're trespassed. So definitely something else to remember. I just hate seeing so many people get arrested. I made a comment the other day and it got misinterpreted, and I had said that people should clear their cases. People should stop going out while they're out on bond. They should clear their cases. I didn't mean stop being an activist. That was not my intention. What I meant was I hate seeing people constantly getting arrested, and bondsmen do eventually get tired. They will get sick of bonding the same person out over and over. So that was all I meant by that, is I didn't want to see people getting arrested more and more. And it got misinterpreted, and some people thought I was being judgmental and telling people they shouldn't be an activist or whatever. All I meant was, I hate seeing all of you guys that do get arrested for doing what you do, getting arrested. 700, man. I'm sorry, I'm behind. Like, after all I've been going through and putting up with, man, I'm very behind. So I'm just trying to get everything situated in my life right now, and yeah, so I'm way behind on content. Plus, trying to come up with content for my own channel. I did that military tribute thinking, well, that should get a lot of people, a lot of views, and I hope people appreciate it. And it's gotten like less than 100 views. Memo, yes. We had our first official snowfall last night of the season. No accumulation really, but lots of black ice. Steven, if you just click on his icon and then click go to channel, it won't take you out of the stream. It'll just load it in the back of the stream. Yeah, Spitshine, you're right. Let's see. I haven't. Hey, Monkey. Um, there's another person that's been out. Monkey. He's streaming all the time. He's streaming feeding the homeless, and he deals with a lot of people that do that whole, "Oh, you can't film me. You don't have my permission." Blah blah blah. I'll tell you what. I've seen him have patience sometimes where there's no way I could have dealt with the people. Well, yeah. Everybody check out that video Monkey just posted. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Monkey. As much as it sucks. Yeah, I don't know if you got to check out the one I made, Monkey, but you know, I've always said I appreciate what you guys have done for this country, and I can only hope I do you a little justice in the tributes I make. Hey, Spike. But, you know, like Monkey said, arrests are going to happen, but yet he's out there every week. Even just filming the homeless getting fed, he still gets harassed. I mean, I've seen him give out handfuls of cigarettes, food, all that, and still gets harassed. Who is that, Spike Love? POO? Oh, I'll have to look that up. I didn't hear about that. Hey, Landley. Yeah, this is the first I've heard of that. I'll have to check that out and see what happened. Yeah, I know, Monkey. That always pissed me off, man. You know, especially since so many homeless people are veterans. People that fought for this country, that fought for their very freedom, and they walk by and scoff at them. It's sickening. Hey, Belle. Good morning. What I mean, that's why I put in that video. I'm like, you know, if you can't donate to a VA, then donate to a homeless shelter. You know, you're guaranteed, unfortunately, there's probably at least one veteran in there. Hey, James Barnes. And it's just, it's sickening. I mean, my father was a Marine. I would hate, even though, you know, my father and I aren't very close, but, you know, if he was homeless, I can't imagine people treating him like that, you know? Yeah, I heard about that. Hey, Josh. Oh, sure, Belle. Where's my hello? It'll never, I'll never understand why any country could allow their veterans to wander the streets, and many of them do seek help. It's not like they don't all choose to live that life. Some of them do want help. Thank you, Belle. And for any country, I don't care where it is, for any country to just let their veterans, just melt away like that, it's sickening. Mind bender, yeah, she ended up eating last night. My friend got her to eat. Never figured out why she didn't want to eat, but she ate eventually. Well, yes, Stephen, but the government, I mean, I saw a commercial, I don't remember where, but in the city that, or in the state of New York, there are over, I think it was over 1,300 buildings that the government is paying rent on to occupy with different services and whatever. Yet they also have thousands of buildings they own that sit vacant. Diego, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I've been to Discord exactly one time. I was on there for a total of about 5 minutes and said screw that and left. It's not my fault that Discord takes forever to delete vacant accounts. So whatever chats you're talking about, certainly you didn't have with me. Well, Spike Love, the one that kills you the most is foreign aid, giving money to other countries, yet we still have so many homeless people here. That's You haven't seen me lurking anywhere, Diego. I don't lurk on there. I got on there one time, never went back. So you never saw me lurking. So no matter how many times you say it, it'll never be true. I've sent letters here to the Governor Cuomo. Why do we have one homeless shelter where I live? One major one. It's called the Open Door Mission. It is always overflowing. It always. There are always people outside, especially in the winter, but even in the summer, there are always homeless people on the sidewalk outside of the Open Door Mission because they're so full. And yet we have giant buildings, giant. I'm talking, 5, 6 story buildings where each floor is at least 10 times the size of the entire Open Door Mission. It kills me because I'm like, that one building alone could house pretty much all the homeless in this city. Yet it sits there vacant. Yeah, Bella, here too. I mean, we have a lot of soup kitchens and whatnot that help, but as far as I'm aware, they've closed all the overnight homeless shelters except the Open Door Mission. I mean, I could be wrong. There may be one or two more, but last I knew, they closed them all. Now you can look up the Tent City building. Literally, it's called the Tent City building in Rochester, New York. It's a huge building. It hasn't been occupied in over 20 years. It's owned by the city now. So, for less, I mean, I'm sure they'll say it would cost millions to fix, but it wouldn't. I'm sure a lot of the homeless people that are handy would love to help work on it, fix it up, turn the whole building into a homeless shelter. But, apparently that makes too much sense because I never got a reply back. Hey, Huckleberry. Sorry I didn't see you there. Well, I agree, Stephen, but it shouldn't be unreasonable. That's just it. But literally, I'm 100% certain that if the city put up a sign that said wanted volunteers to help restore Tent City building as a homeless shelter, it wouldn't cost them a dime in labor. They would have more than enough volunteers to fix up the building. All they'd have to do is pay for materials, which I'm sure they could also get donated. But the city won't allow it. Instead, they keep the building boarded up and it gets broken into all the time and it's used for illicit things. Just makes no sense. Yeah, Bell, well, I guess I'm homeless right now. I'm sleeping on my friend's couch, and I can only do that for so long. I've never seen Eric do any such thing. So, but what Bell just said is very, very true. I couldn't afford, I had been taking care of mom full time. Her disability coupled with what I made is how we survived. So once she passed, I couldn't afford to stay there by myself. So I had to leave. Until I can come up with security deposit and rent until my disability kicks in, I'm homeless. My friend is letting me crash on his couch, use his internet. He's trying to help me as much as he can. But it just goes to show. Yeah, landlady, I mean, that's ridiculous in itself. Yeah, I can agree with that, Stephen. Sorry, I just saw what you said. Less government, or even if they don't want to get rid of, make the government smaller. What's there needs to do their job. How many times do you see politicians out there that are out on the street helping the homeless, actually physically helping the homeless? I mean, we had a mayor here, Mayor Johnson. He would go out and he would do what he could for the homeless. He allocated money for the homeless, more so than any other mayor. But he actually physically went out on the street, handing out food, handing out blankets, all that. After he was taken out, he lost, and I believe that's when Lovely Warren got voted in. Yes, her name is actually Lovely. And ever since then, we're one. Like I said, we got the one overnight shelter that I'm aware of, the Open Door Mission, and it's just gotten worse. The homeless, we have what's called the tunnels, where I'm sure many cities have that, but years and years and years ago, many decades ago, they were going to put a subway under Rochester before they realized the ground was just not stable enough for all that. So they abandoned it after, they started it and then realized we can't do it, so they abandoned it. See you later, Bill. So those tunnels over the years became a home to the homeless. And you rarely, contrary to popular belief, you almost never hear anything about crime in and around the tunnels. The people that live there take care of it. They clean the tunnels. They police themselves. You rarely hear anything about a problem with the tunnels, other than the fact that there's people living in the tunnels. But the homeless people that live there do a better job of taking care of other homeless people than our local government does. That's ridiculous. Yep, Patrick, you're right there. Yep, that's true too, Stephen. Sometimes they are. But a lot of times, poor people have to be greedy with what they have. So, in a way, it's understandable. You only have, like, I only have so much left. I had to sell a lot of what I did have just to help pay for mom's final stuff. But, you know, it's understandable to a point. You only get so much food, you only get so much blankets, you only get so much clothes. What people like, those of us that don't have a lot of money, we get very good at adapting. Multiple uses for everything. Me, I don't like bread. I don't throw it out until the damn thing's all green. Usually it never survives that long. I eat it long before it's green. You know, Diego, you know what? Nobody forces you to get on here and go to all of our channels, yet there you are. You constantly have to say things that cause issues. I can't tell you how many hundreds of times you said that stupid Discord crap about me. If you don't like it, leave. No, it's not. I haven't. If you, Jimmy, if you mean if I had any luck picking up commissions or whatever, no. I can only do so much, and I'm even limited in that. So, hey, Tay. Well, yeah, Memo. I have the settings lowered. Last time I tried to stream on my friend's line, it it shit itself quickly. I mean, the stream was horrible. So I reduced the frames per second and the resolution and the bit rate that, and I'm testing it again because he upped the speed. So, but yeah, so I know it's not perfect right now. I'll probably up the settings again and see how it goes. Yes, Landley, you're absolutely right there. There's a lot of supporters that don't even talk. They go to this. I mean, I know one in particular, a lovely woman that has helped me and a bunch of other people many times, and yet she never talks in the streams, and she rarely leaves comments. She doesn't expect recognition. She doesn't want fanfare. She just helps, and she's been here for all the years I've been here. Wow, Jimmy, way to sound stupid. If I could be out there doing shit, you think I'd rather be sitting down hurting all the time? Worried that my heart's gonna give out? People like that's killing. Like, I asked for this. I asked for my heart to be bad. I asked to be born with a defect. How dumb is that? I bet I don't even know who you are, and I'd bet almost anything. I've paid more in taxes in my life than you have. I got my first on the books job when I was 14. I sold my first program when I was 11. Nowadays, writing software is it's in there for every job out there to write software. There's freaking 5,000 people that are trying to get it. Not to mention, I can't sit at a computer for 8 hours a day anymore. Well, Steven, my point is so many people act like I've never paid into taxes or did my part or anything like that. Hey, Jeff, I never had a problem with paying taxes, even though it sucked. And I didn't, it's not like I volunteered to pay taxes. But, I understand the purpose of taxes. I don't think they go about it the right way. But still, my point is the people that act like I've never worked or anything like that. I love the ones that leave the comments that say, auditors don't care about activism, they just do this because of the money. They don't, you know how small a percentage of auditors that actually could survive off their channel really is? I mean, I've been around long enough and I know most of the auditors out there. And it's like less than 1% of all the auditors I've personally seen could actually live off of their channel. Most of us, we don't make jack. No, there isn't, Patrick. That's why I said in my military tribute, freedom isn't free. Yeah, Jeff, I've watched that one quite a few times. I don't know if anything happened to the cop, but we all know what happened as a result of the court case. That's what's most important. Stephen. Oh yeah, there's no denying that war is a financial machine. It is definitely a corporate driven entity. It's so many companies in the U.S. alone exist solely because of military contracts. I say it all the time. For the cost of one F-22 Raptor, they could abolish homelessness in pretty much the entire country. Why do we need to have hundreds and thousands of planes and fighter jets and tanks and all that just sitting idle in Arizona in the desert on the off chance that we may need them someday? We already have more than enough to fight 100 wars. It kills me. Yeah, I mean, I understand the necessity of keeping our military up to date. I understand that. I understand the need for surplus, but there's a very clear line between having what we need to defend our country and this is a ridiculous waste of resources. Now, I know some people say they do it because it finances the country. Because there's so many military contracts out there, if they were to do away with that, so many Americans would be out of a job. But the reality is, it's not all necessary. Yeah, Patrick, that's true too. I agree with that. Unfortunately, as long as something is driven or controlled by humans, it's going to be inherently flawed. Especially since we are still dependent on the almighty dollar. We all live on the almighty dollar. We need money to eat. We need money to live, to pay bills, to do fun things. It's just a fact. And as long as that is a fact, there will be people that can be bought. I mean, look at those countries where South American countries where there's still a large percentage of the country that lives off the land. Those people, you don't ever see them all stressed out, and, you don't. Those people, they go fishing or whatever, they do what they gotta do to survive, and the rest of the time, they might be playing soccer or throwing around a homemade ball of some sort, whatever, but they enjoy their lives. All right, well, it was a decent stream test. I'm gonna have to restream again when I'm gonna increase the settings a little bit and see if I can push out better video quality. So, but I figured I'd just do a general chat too and see how everybody's doing and whatnot. So, if anybody does wanna, oh hey, Man in Black, man, thanks. Still living on my friend's couch, but it is what it is. I was just gonna say, if anybody does want to contribute to the channel or help me out or whatever, there's the GoFundMe above my head. Otherwise, I'll be streaming again soon because, like I said, I'm gonna test it at higher settings. So, well, Patrick, it's hard right now because, like I said, I mean, I'm living on a couch right now, so I can only do so much. But of course, if anybody needs any video work done or wants a custom knife made, feel free to email me. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all on the next one. And have a good day.